Welcome. Today, I'm just kidding. Had to do it to him. Today we're going to be installing some 2008 to 2016 tow mirrors on this 2001 Excursion with the old ass ugly tow mirrors, obviously. So I'll drop the link in the description for the mirrors I got. They're pretty good. We have one installed on the passenger side already. Distortion, there's a little bit of distortion at the edges, but it doesn't distort the depth at all. So overall, pretty good for 130 bucks. So obviously, you're going to need some tools. Preferably, you want a plastic trim remover, but you got a screwdriver. For my speaker bolts, it's 7/32. It might be different for yours. And then 11 millimeters for the mirror bolts, and then 7 millimeter for the door panel bolts. So let's get to it. First thing you want to do is you get your screwdriver right under here, or trim panel remover. You can see it right. Okay. And you just push up a little bit, pop it out, and disconnect all these plugs. They're going to be a little bit hard to get out, but they'll all come out eventually. Okay, the clip's broken off of that one. It's getting mean. Alright. This last plug has a clip broken on it, so I don't know how this is going to work. Oh, okay. So you got this panel off. Put it to the side. Alright, so next, you got to pop up this little thing. So get your screwdriver again. Boop. Pop it off, easy as pie. Probably because the clip's broken. And yeah, so now we gotta get to removing the door bolts. So get your 7 millimeter hex socket. There's gonna be a door bolt up here, right behind the panel, and then right here where the reflector is. So loosen those up real quick, beat. That part was hot. These bulbs are a pain. These bolts are a pain to get out. Fuck, that bulb's so hot, dude. Jesus. Alright. So you got the first bolt out. Second bolt up here. And don't worry about the door falling. After you take the bolts out, it'll still stay in place. Like I said, this is going to work for, these mirrors work for any 99 to 07, F250, 350, 450, Excursion, etc. God damn it. Alright, so next, now that you got those two bolts out, you're literally just going to yank up on the door. Oh, actually, before that, you got to pop this off. So it's going to feel like you're going to break it, but you just got to pull back on the top and pull back on the bottom. It's out. Now you can pull this up. Make sure all the tabs are off. And then disconnect the light if you have the reflector on the bottom. And I'm going to unplug that so it doesn't burn my ass again. And then put the door panel somewhere safe where you don't step on it. Alright, next up, you got to remove these speaker bolts. So, I don't know what the stock speaker bolt size is, because I just got a new stereo system in here, actually. So, I'm pretty sure these are the same size bolts, though. So, remove them. Bang, bang. Bang, bang, skeet. Make sure your speaker doesn't fall. And then
the stock connector is just going to be a plug like this, kind of. A little bit smaller, though. But just unplug them. I have different plugs because, obviously, I have an aftermarket system. That doesn't want to unplug. Okay, unplug that. Don't hit the seat mover. Put your speaker somewhere safe. Okay, now pop these little doohickeys off. I don't know why that's on there. Pop these little tabs off. Now, at this point, it'd be preferable to get a hand from someone. Switch to your 11mm socket. Also, it'd be really smart to roll down the window before this. We didn't do that because we're retarded. But if you're doing this one person, you're going to want to roll the window down. And then for this part, you really don't want to drop the bolts in here. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get them down here. So what you want to do, what I did is I got some Gorilla Tape. If I could source that. It's over there. So I got some Gorilla Tape. First of all, just get them all undone a little bit. God damn. Just pop them a little bit. So the mirror still stays on, but they're loose a little bit. On all four. But I repeat, do not loosen them all the way. There's some sticky stuff on this bolt. I don't know why. It's whatever. It's like that sticky icky. Sticky icky. Alright, so you loosen them all a little bit. Don't loosen them too much or the mirror's gonna see you. Next, I got some Gorilla Tape, or any tape. Or if you have a magnet, that would work too. If you have a magnet, what you do is you get one of those little magnet things that, like, say you drop a bolt in your engine bay, you could get it with the little extendable magnet. You get in there and loosen the bolts enough so you can loosen them put the magnet on there and turn them. Or you get some young Gorilla Tape, or the tape of your choice. Cut a little strip. Cut it in half. Got that cut in half. Put your little strip. You good? Alright, put your little strip right there. And you're going to tape it down with this other strip on the side of the socket. So when you shove your ratchet in there, it's going to tape onto the bolt. It's going to be a little tight, but that's what you want it, so it doesn't fall. So now someone's going to get on the other side of the door and grab the mirror while one of you guys loosens this. You don't got to hold it too tight yet. Just shove your ratchet on there. Now loosen it up. And you got your bolt, see? It's stuck in. Pull your bolt out. And then do that for all 4 bolts. Alright, there you go. There's another one. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera here, but it's basically just these 4 holes. Very self-explanatory. It's 11mm. Unscrew them. Make sure your bolts don't fall. If they do fall, they'll just fall into the door here. It's not too hard to get them. It's just, if you can avoid it, just try to avoid it. And then finally, this last bolt's really deep in here, the bottom left. So really make sure your socket's stuck on so it doesn't fall. Okay. So mirror's gonna come off in a second. So make sure you hold it. So really get this one off. Okay, this one has some like sticky stuff on the end of it. There you go. Now you're off. See, sometimes they have this gunk on here. I don't know what mine has this gunk. If you can see that, but peel it off. You don't need it. Probably Loctite, some old ass Loctite or something. All right, now that you got all the bolts off, make sure you unplug your mirror connectors. Some trucks are gonna have different mirror connectors. So some will have. Let me go get it. No, all the bolts are on. So some of them will have the reverse of this connector, and then some of them will have this. Either way, the mirrors that I got, they came with a converter. So my truck happens to have these, but if yours has these, then you don't need the converter. So mine has these plugs, so I'm gonna unplug both plugs before I pull the mirror out. There's one. Of course, this one's a pain in the ass to get to. There's two. Alright, so Ripperino, we gotta cut a zip tie for my speaker wires, which is fine. So let me get the cutters real quick. Don't pull it out yet. My speaker wires. So yours probably won't be zip tied, but just make sure nothing's on these mirror connectors or the relays or anything. Got that. Boom. Leave my speaker wires dangling. Okay, now you could start pulling the mirror out. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Alright, now pull the mirror out. Here, let me turn that over a little bit. So just pull the mirror out. Keep going. Just get this wire. There you go. Mirror's out. So now we're gonna get the new mirror set up. So here's the new mirror. I got the ones with the smoked side. But sometimes it depends. There's this little tab on these mirrors. Right here. It sticks through right here. If you could see it. It's right here. And you have to put your mirrors on. On my truck, these tabs aren't needed. So if the mirror doesn't sit down flush and it like rocks back and forth, we'll show you right now. You're just gonna have to go and clip that off and you'll be all good. It's just plastic, you can clip it off with pliers. So just test fit your mirror. And also if you have the converter on here, don't plug the converter in first and then slip it through, because then if you need to pull it back out again, it's not gonna fit. So don't slip the converter on yet, just slip this plug through first. Slip it through, and when you put it in, see how it doesn't go flush and it rocks back and forth? That means you need to cut off the little plastic knob on there. So if I get my cutters, I just had a second ago. They're right there. So then what you do is you come here, get your cutters here. Can you point it down? Get your cutters. Don't drop your mirror. It's gonna be easier if I go like this. Come on this side so you can see it. So this little tab right here. So what you do is just snip it right there. Boom. And that actually got the whole thing off. So if you want, you could trim it a little bit more. Just make sure it lets it sit flush. That's the biggest thing, because you don't want water getting in there and everything when you're driving down the road. Boom. So now that's not going to cause a problem, or it shouldn't. So, what you should do, alright, set the camera back down, because I'm going to need your help again. Shove your mirror in. Make sure your seal's all pushed in. And boom. Once you get these all screwed in, there's going to be no rocking. So, yeah, it's good. So, come and hold this. Just make sure this isn't clipping. Pull it out again. Oh, all right. There you go. Now the mirrors are in. So the mirrors come with bolts, but they're pretty small. The little washer around them is pretty small. So I'm deciding to use the stock bolts because they're the same threads anyways. So just keep the tape on here, obviously. And put your bolt back on. Make sure it's stuck in there. Thread it in a bit. The bolt that you're choosing, whichever one you want to do. Make sure you get one in there. Enough thread so it hooks on. Enough so you can then pull out your socket with the tape. Boom. So repeat that 3 times. 3 more times actually. At first, I usually go top bottom, so it could pull the mirror in on both sides, so then you can get the threads in. Like, the mirror's getting pulled in, so now the threads are showing on this side. Make sure your socket doesn't fall. Just wiggle it gently. There you go. Bolts on. And third bolt. Boom, that's enough. Shake it out. There you go. And after you get this 4th one in, your partner, there you go. That was just it popping into place. Your partner can stop holding the mirror after you get this 4th bolt. Thread it in a little bit. There you go. Shake your socket out. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. There you go. Now you let go. It'll support itself for now. Now you can take the tape off this socket. Boom. 7 mil. So then just tighten your mirror up. Make sure you don't just crank one down and then it's just common knowledge of tightening something down. Don't just crank one down, then go to the next one, crank it down. Do it pretty evenly so the seal seals evenly and there's no gaps. So tighten that one a little bit. You don't have to go in a crosshatch, but just tighten them all evenly. And the mirror will suck itself in, so you don't got to worry about pushing the mirror in. As long as you tighten evenly. So, around. And get them snug to where it's kind of hard to turn. And then try and give it like a quarter, do another half turn. You're going to have to go around it a few times. Because as you tighten all the bolts, the other ones are going to start to have a gap in them because the mirror's getting sucked in more. So just keep tighten. Boom. That one's tight. Let's actually loosen this one a bit so we can tighten them all evenly. Get that one. Boom. Boom. Just keep going around. I'm getting pretty snug. Top left is usually going to be the one that takes the most threads. And check if your seal is sealing up good. It is sealing up pretty good. Not a big gap. Give them all one last crank. Boom. Mirror's not moving. You're good. Alright, so now your mirror wire should be down here. Get your little converter if you need it. If not, if you don't have the converter, the plug's going to be about like right here. It's going to come out of the door panel right here. But if you do have the connector, in my case, the connectors are right behind the speaker. So you just plug the little converter in, go back, plug each of these in. Make sure you orientate it the right way. Make sure you, is that the right way? That is the right way. Okay. Then get this one plugged in. You'll feel a little click on both of them. And then stuff it back in there. Make sure it's not going to interfere with your window or anything. And then we have this here. So this is one of the speaker wires. So now what you're going to do is get your speaker. I might zip tie this for the harness. Yeah. I'll go find a zip tie real quick. Turn it off for a second.
I'll just crop it.
Oh, okay. I'm actually just gonna Gorilla tape it. Let's get a little piece of tape. So I can keep my speaker wire. My beaker wire. Maybe need a little bit bigger piece. You guys might not need to do this, but I'm just doing this to be safe. Don't want my speaker wires getting all jacked up. Boom, there you go. Now get your speaker. Remember how it was orientated, which I failed to remember. That's a good one. Okay, so mine was orientated like this. Yes, because the wires are on bottom. So plug your speakers back in. sure they're both plugged in. Throw your speaker back in there. Now get your 7:30 seconds, I believe. It is. Is that the 7:30? Yes, 7:30 seconds. Keep holding your speaker in there. Pull your speaker in. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's a smaller one. Those bolted in. Okay, this is moving. I should have one more bolt somewhere. I guess not. I don't know why, but my threads don't want to hold in on this. This probably won't happen for you. So let me figure out how this could be. Maybe I try like that. Yes. Maybe I try like that. And that one's tightened in. You guys are probably going to have all 4 bolts. Mine only has 2 for some reason. Bang bang, skeet skeet, doesn't move. Okay, so speaker's in. Good. Now put your little capper goos on this. Little gaskets. And usually there's a piece of weather stripping right here. Mine doesn't have it because we did some other stuff with the door a few years ago. So we just took the weather stripping off because it's inside the door anyways. So there should be a little piece of weather stripping, just peel it off. It's a little sticky piece. And then next, you're gonna get your door panel again. So get your door panel. Make sure you connect your little reflector if you have it. Boom. So how the door mounts, there's tabs all over the door that are going to go in as well as on the top. So what you want to do is you want to get it lined up with the lock tab up here first. Make sure you get all your wires through here too before you slam the door on it. Get all your wires up here. Make sure everything's you put on is back on. Yes, everything's back on. See, it already locked in the tabs. So you're gonna put it over the lock tab. Don't lock the door. There you go, get it over the lock tab. Your little installation is gonna become a pain right here. because then you're going to want to try and get it. Oh, I oofed myself. There you go. Get it over. The lock tab keeps coming out. There you go. The passenger door is a lot easier than this. I don't know why the driver's side is such a pain in the ass. Okay, there you go. I think I got it. To check to make sure you got it, the back tab's in, just pull the door by the bottom. If this doesn't pop up, then you're good. Make sure this is all tight around here. Push it down a little bit. Hit it in. You don't want any vibrations, so just make sure of that. And then there you go. Now put your 7mm bolts back in. Top one and the bottom one. My masky skate. Don't over tighten these, because you'll strip out the. You'll strip them out on the inside where they bolt into. So just get them snug, and just like barely give them a little turn after. Get them up snug, and then boom. There you go. That's good. And then get your one in here. And this little reflector. Get it snug. Boom, that door's not going nowhere. And then get your little reflector that I threw across the road. Put it back in. Mine just broke. So that's fair, because it's old. So, we'll leave that there for right now. Yeah, be careful with the plastics in here, because they're old. 16, 17-year-old trucks. So, bang that in. Boom. But yeah, be careful when you're getting all the clips. That one had been broken from the last time we took the truck apart. And then just plug all your connectors back in. Boom, all your connectors back in. Get the little back tab right here. There's a little slot for it, slide that in first, and then boom, back on. Door's good, not moving. Now, before you drive off, call it a day, stick your keys in. Turn the truck to accessory. Make sure the mirror moves. Ours is moving. We're good. We're Gucci. Not moving. I mean, moving without a problem. So, yeah. There you go. That's your 2008-2016 mirrors installed. Tow mirrors. They extend. Go back. They got the little toe spot down here. They fold it in. New plastic. Gonna be hard to fold in. It'll get easier over time. But yeah, we'll give you a little walk around tour. I'll throw a before and after shot in here too. But definitely updates the look of the truck. Much beefier. And the best part is more visibility. So it's looking good. We'll go take them for a test drive, see how they are. There's a little bit of distortion on the sides, like right here. It doesn't affect distance though, like I said. It just makes the cars, while they're on the edge, look a little wavy. So that'd probably be eliminated if you just spend a little bit more on some higher quality mirrors, but for 130 bucks, you can't beat these. So I'll drop a link in the description, and thanks for watching.
Daily Driven 69. Gucci gang.